A New Haven landmark turns 100 years young today. News 8 going inside, behind the scenes, to give you a look at the Shubert Theater that few have ever seen before. News 8's Ken Pierce live in our New Haven newsroom this noon with more on that. Ken.
And Keith, so much history took place on that stage. And as you're about to see, so much history is still on the walls backstage. And it all began with a show on a snowy night 100 years ago today. December 11th, 1914, the curtain first went up on New Haven's Shubert Theater.
It was the start of 100 years to come of history and pre-Broadway shows and world premieres.
For decades, the Shubert was where all the big names came to try out their shows before taking them to Broadway.
It was the place to start. It was basically, 600 pre-Broadway shows and 300 world premieres, and it was virtually who's who of both shows and of stars.
Years ago, a tradition started of painting murals of the major shows on the backstage walls and having the whole cast sign them.
One of my favorites is 12 Angry Men, which they were creative and used the electrical panel.
A major renovation earlier this year meant they lost a few walls, but the tradition continues. But one thing they gained in the renovation was this new gallery with a timeline of the last 100 years, starting with opening night 100 years ago tonight. The Belle of Bond Street was the play. The timeline then takes us through the next 100 years, the 30s and 40s, all the Rodgers and Hammerstein musicals. This is Marlon Brando in Streetcar Named Desire, Audrey Hepburn, Yul Brynner, Rex Harrison, and Julie Andrews in My Fair Lady. And it continues through the 80s, 90s, and today until you reach this new painting by local artist Tony Falcone commemorating when the Shubert turns 100. Along the way, the Shubert changed into a place established shows begin their national tours.
So we've sort of morphed from pre-Broadway to post-Broadway, but it has a huge economic impact locally for us.
And the local impact is so important. If you look in shop windows around New Haven right now, you'll see paper cutouts made by folks at the Pear School of Art in Hamden depicting iconic shows from Cats to Annie.
We have a partnership with the Board of Education and the city schools and Cooperative Arts High School here, which is right next door.
I only had time to mention a few of the big hit shows and big stars that played the Shubert over the years. If you want to know more about that kind of history, we've got lots more on our website, WTNH.com. Patti LuPone playing there tonight, by the way. Live in the New Haven newsroom, I'm Ken Pierce. Keith, back to you.